Hi, my name is Sonia Menning, licensed massage therapist. I'm making these videos just to show some of my clients and anyone else who's interested in what I do for self-care. I know that right now is a time where a lot of massage therapist offices are closed, spas are closed, and I know that everybody out there has their aches and pains and sometimes chronic pain. So I wanted to show you some of the self-care techniques that are beneficial for in between your sessions or while you're not able to get a massage. You can definitely do some self-massage. Okay, so now I want to show you another area of our body that we tend to ignore, and that's our pecs. Our chest, the way we work in our society with our arms in front of us, when we're driving, when we're on our computer, so many different occupations, we're doing stuff with our hands in front of us. Me as a massage therapist, my hands are in front of me. And what happens is we develop this curve, this turning inward like this. These muscles get tight and short in the front, and we feel the pain. We ignore that stuff. And we're like always like, oh, in between my shoulder blades it hurts. Those muscles are a lot of times lengthened and tightened. So we've got a short contraction in the front and a long contraction in the back. And if we only address those areas that hurt in the back but never do anything here and open up this area, then this is just going to continue to happen, especially when you're not changing anything about your posture. So it's easy to say, oh, sit up straight, but when these muscles have been conditioned to be tight, they really need to be released before we can really start to stretch them out and let our brain know where these muscles resting lengths are supposed to be. So it's also a very tender area for people. So we're going to start with right below our clavicle. So we have our clavicle, our collarbone right here. And if you feel around, you can kind of feel a dip in here. Kind of if you go inward right here on both sides. So we have our sternum, and where you feel that stop, there's like a little dip in here. This is actually an area where some of the fibers of the pecs attach to that really tend to get sore. A lot of times trigger points develop in this area. So I'm just gonna hold, I like 2 fingers, hold some pressure in there and just breathe. Breathe until it releases. You'll feel that muscle start to release if you really pay attention to it and do it for long enough. I never recommend working on these little tight spots for more than 1 or 2 minutes at a time. Okay, so then I want you to go with about 4 fingers here, right along the side of the sternum. So your sternum comes down like this, and we're just gonna kind of spread. You can kind of use your ribs as a guideline if you can feel them, and put your fingers in between those ribs. It's okay if you're on your ribs, but in between your ribs, you're also getting your intercostal muscles along with your pecs. Underneath your pecs, you have intercostal muscles in between each little rib. So we're just kind of rubbing in circles. And then we can expand out, rub in circles. Sometimes you'll find like thickened tissue that really hurts. Those are really tight areas in your muscle that need to be released. So I found 2 right here. So I'm just gonna hang out. I'm just gonna apply this pressure. Breathe. Okay. And then keep moving out, keep moving out. If you have larger breasts and you can't get in there, sometimes you have to work downward and kind of get underneath that breast tissue to be able to feel the actual pecs that are on the rib cage. Anybody can do this though. Just push your breast tissue down if you don't have a flatter chest up top. And then just kind of spread it out. Okay. So another way to get to your pec major is I want you to kind of, if you put your arm out like this and you see this tissue right here, this is, underneath here is your pec major, the big muscle. It lies over top of the pec minor, which is in here. We'll work on that too. but find your pec major, and you're gonna be curling your fingers under, but I don't want your fingers in your armpit. It's just, your fingers should only be in that flap of a muscle, right? So I'm not in my armpit. I'm feeling my armpits in here. I'm right in front of that. I feel my pec right here. And I'm gonna grasp onto the pec, and I'm just gonna kind of first pinch it. Just allow your shoulder to relax. Sore. Sometimes you'll lose it and you can feel like you're only on skin or fat. Really get up in there if you lose that muscle and grasp a hold of it. Now I like to kind of, while I have a hold of this muscle, I like to rotate back. It's a pin and stretch. When I do this, I feel the blood flow returning to my arms. Oh, it feels good. It hurts, but it feels good. It's a good hurt. Circles while grasping. Okay. Follow it all the way down to where you can't get it anymore, and give it some pinches on the inside like that. Okay. Now also I want to tell you, okay, so we've got our armpit, we have our pec muscle here. Kind of comes out and it attaches on right in here. If you have swollen glands in your armpit, those, you can feel them sometimes. They're like they feel like a jelly bean that you can kind of roll around a little bit, a soft jelly bean. Don't put pressure on your glands. So if you're feeling that kind of tissue, just get off of it. Go back to the muscle. All right, so for pec minor, our pec minor kind of attaches on in here, and it's just like this triangular muscle, right? It's kind of right here. That's underneath the pec major. So we're gonna be just starting to, I'm gonna start right about where it attaches. So I'm gonna be kind of on these ribs in here, and you can kind of feel it. Just imagine the fibers going up like this. So I'm gonna put pressure, and I'm gonna pinch down, and I'm gonna stretch back. I'm gonna pull it down and stretch it back. I'm gonna move up, kind of dig into that tissue, hold it, pull my shoulder back, stretch it. Pec minor burns for a lot of people. Just work with different angles to see how you can feel that stretch. And then move upward, hold it. This one, ooh, it is just really tight. You can feel, if you get stuck in that area, just really hang out there for a while. It feels like a clump of the muscle. Ooh. Okay. All right, now you can just kind of, you don't have to use lotion. You can do it, if you don't use lotion, it's more of a myofascial stretch, but just to glide along the pec minor. My sternum is right here, sternum. I'm gonna start right about here on the ribs, a little bit down, and I'm just gonna start gliding towards the attachment. Okay, so that's the pec minor. I'm going to show you next just some of these trap muscles and posterior neck muscles in the next video.